Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Guys, today was a crazy green day, man. Crazy green day. AERC, unlike the last time, this time I was not red when this stock started to move. Last time I was down 433 before AERC gave that incredible move. That day I finished up 1.4K after some amazing trades. This time, starting the day off at small size, man. Small size. And as soon as AERC started to move, got aggressive, and we saw some good trades, man. Some crazy stuff. So I hope you guys do enjoy the recap. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be live again tomorrow morning for 8:30 a.m. We'll start the live stream a little earlier. That way we can get more analysis in on the stocks. We'll probably have Mighty Scalper Marcelo, the Mighty Stocks trader Marcelo, come on in. Maybe give his take on what he's looking at as well. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to take a look at AERC, mostly ELIS. We had a losing trade on that one. We'll cover that as well. But those are the main two stocks today for me. Guys, I don't know how many of you saw the video. When we become consistent traders, we must size up. If we want to make real money from the markets, when we start to see consistent gains, we must size up. And it's hard. For me, it's still a work in progress. I don't think I'm anywhere near where I'm going to be in the future, but it's a process, man. It took me almost a year just to go from 500 shares to 2,500 shares. For some people, it's different. They can do it faster. They can do it with much more ease. But for others, like myself, it's much more difficult. We are going to take a look as well at Thinkorswim. We had some trades that were not filled. I haven't called them yet. You guys will see more of this inside the recap. I'm buying 2,500 share blocks and nothing is happening. Man, I better not come tomorrow and see that I'm down 10,000 in this thing, man. I'd go crazy. But anyhow, I'm going to put a timestamp and then I'll send it over to Thinkorswim. Let them review it. I'll let them get back to me on what the issue was, and hopefully we can get we can get some sort of confirmation that it wouldn't happen again. Because this is another thing that's pushing me and reminding me that we have to get to a direct access broker regardless of commissions. The number one thing is share size. We get up there to 3, 4, 5,000 shares on stocks like AERC. The commissions are not going to matter as long as, of course, we're seeing winning trades. So. With that being said, guys, remember that day trading is risky. A quick disclaimer here, day trading is risky. A lot of beginner traders do lose money. A lot of traders in general lose money, right? Whether they're beginner, intermediate, expert, traders lose money. So make sure to trade with small size or in a simulator before you become consistent, right? That way, when you are live, you don't lose a lot of money. Because for me, guys, and a lot of us in the market lost a lot of money, right? So keep that in mind. I traded in a sim. There's nothing wrong with it. So protect yourself first, right? Protect yourself, protect your mental state of mind, protect your account, protect your assets, and not overdo it, right? The market will be here in a year from now, 5 years from now, and don't feel any FOMO, right? That is to say, don't feel any FOMO, because at the end of the day, for me, I started 4 years ago and there were stocks making big moves. And guess what? There'll be stocks making big moves 4 years from now, So don't rush the process. Enjoy the process. Take it slow, one step at a time, and we can get there. For me, I'm still looking to get better and better, man. This is not my peak, not even close. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to stay relentless, guys. Let's jump right into that recap. All right, guys, let's start off with the loss, HILS. So HILS initially was pretty good, man. This thing was stronger than I would have expected. I had it on watch just in case it made a move, and it did give a good move, man. It even got halted up over the pre-market highs at 138. When it started, I was watching AERC and I believe DAWN. Actually, DAWN. I was watching this one here into the open, and I wasn't really focusing too much on HILS. This is why I feel like I didn't really do well in this area here, or else I could have got a quick couple of trades. By the time I started trying with my bigger size 3,000 shares, wasn't really able to see much. I didn't really get to connect properly. In fact, I made $97 alone, and I'm saying alone because with 3,000 shares, that's about 3 cents, and we went from 102 all the way to 170. So I think that pretty reasonable that I can say alone. Right, we had the resumption right here. At 145, I got long, tried to get some trade in there, didn't see much. And this is where I took the big loss, man. It broke above this blue line, right? This blue line, we had daily resistance. If we come all the way over, the high of this candle here was 187 back on March 30th, right? March 31st. So I felt like that was a good area we could watch for some potential resistance. And of course, as you guys know, once we break those resistance areas, usually they become support. And the only thing is I could say is that maybe the consolidation against this level wasn't as strong, but you could still see we came up here to 82, it didn't quite go, it pulled back. Then again, we came up to 82, it didn't quite go, it pulled back. And finally, when it broke over right here, I took a dip trade in at 89, out at like 93, got back in at 86 for another dip, watching for a retest of 94, thinking it was going to hold. It did not hold. In fact, it flushed down hard, man. I went from up 97 to down 17. It's a pretty good size loss. You know, I took the full brunt of that loss, man. And this wasn't nice, because when I'm in this type of trade, I'm not expecting to lose 10 cents. You know, maybe 3 cents, 4 or 5 cents at most, 5 cents. So to take a full $250 loss or more, it was not fun, man. In fact, if we do the math here, 178 plus 97 is 275. So I took a 200, was that 200? My math isn't any good here. Well, my brain is fried, right? Guys, if you're watching here, give me a break. I'm not even going to try. AERC. AERC, this one here goes from, let's see here. Yeah, AERC went from, I'm trying to get the open price, low of 1144 if we include pre-market. Well, actually, it could be pulled back pre-market, so that might have been the low of day levels. From 1144, this thing made a huge move, guys. I mean, absolutely insane, absolute insanity. It got all the way up to 1697 and then up to 1815 before coming in late afternoon to retest those highs. We had highs of 1850 before coming into power hour, which gave us a high of 1882. Now, I started off this one being aggressive. You know, I was starting off flat. Unlike the first day when it was coming up, I was down 400, so I didn't want to size up like crazy. But, you know, small size, just 500 shares. And then as soon as I started to see the stock opening up, right? Because the goal is, this might become part of my rule, actually. Small sizing to start the day, because I've been starting off red so many days, man, so many times. It's been difficult trying to come from red to green. So trying to start small, just 500 shares. And, you know, I'm having a small loss right here. And you can see two small losers, right? Losing about 4 cents and then another 3 cents. You know, losing about 8 cents there. And then finally, once we see the stock opening up, we sized up to 1,000 shares. In its 7 out of 17. That's $100. It wipes out those smaller losers. And we're now in the green. This is where we start to build our position, right? We start to build our position. We're kind of back and forth, a few losses. Then we start to open up a bit. In at 85, out at 96. Pretty good trade, 10 cents again, right? We're back in here at 48. We're looking for that break of 50. Didn't quite see it. Smaller gain here, right? Let's move on up, right? Let's move on up. Let's see. Some scratch trade, small win right here. In it 54 out of 59. And then we got a good trade in right here in at 75, out at 91, 92, 88. This is a beautiful trade, guys. This is a solid trade right here. And you can see I've increased my share size. And so now we're pushing, right? Now we're starting to push. So this is around 944, right? So as the stock is curling up right here, we had to pull back. And right here, we're making new highs. We're coming into this blue line at 1423, which is going to be our first key resistance level. We're going to rip right through that level. And this is where it starts to get a little crazy, man. There's a trade that comes at 1451 that we have to look at. I know some of you guys are going to, you know, maybe make a meme out of it. So I'm up 800 at one point. I give back some profits. Let's see, in at 27, out at 19. In at 54, out at 40 and 39. So I gave back profits right here, trying to continue to be aggressive, trying to keep my foot on the gas. I'm going to give back some off the top. And this is where I mentioned that the P&L is going to be crazy, right? I was up 800 went to being down 400. That's a pretty big loss, right? Overall, it's like I gave back 50%, but with this P&L, with this share size rather, on this stock, there's so much potential, right? So much opportunity, and giving back 400 off the top for me was not the place to stop. I will slow down when the momentum is slowing down, or if I'm just having losing trades despite the momentum going higher and higher and higher. If I'm having consecutive losers back to back to back to back to back, right? So right here we're gonna see a crazy trade, I believe. We're in at 27, we're out at 17. A crazy trade is about to come right here. Let's see. In at 1464, in at 1450. I don't know how I got this beautiful fill. I mean, absolutely incredible fill at 50. And I probably should have gotten filled at 64, but Thinkorswim with a miracle fill. This is at 9:53 a.m., guys. Let's watch this on the live stream and watch how insane this move was, man. So this is something I'm gonna watch later. Let's make sure to save that. But let's exit some of these other things here, and then let's see. Where are we? YouTube. Bear with me here, guys. Bear with me here. Live stream. There it is. Let's mute the audio. 9:44. So here we go. AERC 9:45. Right? Hold on. We got to come back a little bit more. Let's see. So once again, all right, here. Let's see. Here we go. I'll let it play from right here. 1375. I'm in. I'm back out for, and you'll see. You guys will see. I'm holding the trades for a couple seconds longer than usual. All right. Watch the difference here in this trade. I'm watching for break of 14. I'm in at 75. And I want to see the green. There's 86, 94, 95. It didn't seem like it was quite ripping. So I take the trade off the table, and immediately as I sold at 07, there's 18, and then there's 41. So, we can't catch all of them, but we try. So here we go. I'm going to get back in as it's holding high here. I'm actually in a little slow, but I'm back in at 37. There's 53 for highs. So this is when I was up 850, right? I'm going to give back profits here very soon. The dip trade there at 14, I should have been long. I should have been long right here at 14 as this dips down here on the bids. Right there, I should have threw an order out at 14.05 with a tight 10-cent stop. Because this is going to bounce from 05. We got back up to 30, If you play the trade right, there's still some opportunity in there. So I'm watching it. I'm back in at 40. Out scratch. In at 54. Having losses. And you can see this particular trade, I get destroyed against the spreads. I'm in at 54. Let's see if I can find my order in here. 1,500 shares. I don't quite see it. But I'm going to get obliterated there. And I'm going to give back $300. About a 20-cent loss. That trade is coming soon. The big trade, here we go. It's coming. So we had this pullback. We switched over. HILS, man. Quick side note. It is worth seeing this trade here. I'm up 67. This is where I take my first dip at 90 and I'm out for like a small gain. Then I'm back in, watch this. Back in 86 right here, thinking it's a good dip. We immediately hit 82, but I'm expecting it to bounce right here. 80, 74, and boom, just like that. It does bounce back up afterwards a little bit, but I've already gotten chopped out. And this is where that huge trade is going to come. Let's listen in. Stock. If I think that can happen, I wouldn't even, look to hold it for more than 2-3 cents if it's going against me. Out. Anyhow, it's 14.50 seems like it's the level here to watch. AERC still has this spread, so I gotta still be very careful here. I think we can do very, very well on this stock here. It might have trapped short sellers at the VWAP. Next 5-minute candle in the next 3 minutes over 14.50. I like. If it's coming up 35-40 with volume, I'll be long. And I want to see the rip right through 50, right up to 78, because short sellers should be covering at a much higher rate this time around. Yet. Once again, if I see like 40 with volume, is where I could look to take a long. Is it ready yet? 50. Okay, okay. Oh my god. Did I catch that? I did it. Wow. It's an unbelievable trade, guys, and I got back in right here. So you guys will see shares are filled at 65 and shares are also filled at 50 because the stock quickly dips back down to 50 here. So there we go, 62, 60. It's a split second, man, split second. Right here, and this is a late entry on my behalf. I have to be faster here in the future because it's holding for long enough without us seeing selling pressure. So you see this right here. I'm hitting the buy button as we're at 50 by 58. So it goes to show why I got a decent fill, and immediately before Thinkorswim even shows, like, the order is already filled at this point, but there's a delay to where we can see the actual position, right? This is why sometimes, like, the entries at Thinkorswim is not as bad as we sometimes will think. But with the market orders, we still got to be very careful. And you guys will see I do have some big losses. And we'll even talk about why my P&L should be adjusted $1,000 lower, maybe by like 6 p.m. We'll talk about that too. So instant trade there. This is the best type of breakout we'll ever see. Instant resolution, instant follow through, big move. There was no hesitation. There was no nothing. Just move. And I got back in at 90 here because I'm expecting short sellers to cover and for this thing to go to like 15.50. Watching for green again. Cover, cover, cover. They're not covering. So I'm literally saying cover, cover, cover. That was one of the highlight trades, guys. But let's skip forward to 47. I was able to make a lot of money quick with those type of breakouts. Let's skip forward a little bit. I want to show you guys. I'm going to size up here. This is very weird. Very, what's the word? Peculiar, right? Interesting. Very out of the ordinary right here. I have no idea what this is. And I've already mentally adjusted for $1,000 loss off the top of my P&L. Watch this right here. So I size up to 2,500 shares like a madman, right? Well, let's say looking to be aggressive. And hold on, let's mute this. And look at the losing trades that I take. But my P&L doesn't reflect, the trades themselves doesn't reflect And shout out to Steve for calling me because I felt something was wrong, but I because I'm so locked into the level 2, I hadn't noticed it right away. All right, hold on. Let me fast forward a little bit here. Is it already okay, passed already. Okay, hold on. I'll have to let it play. From the moment I went to 2,500 shares, I'll have to let it play. So I had a great trade off the lows that I sized up aggressively. I'm going to take that trade off the table, and right here is where we had a problem. So I'm up 3,100, which is great, and then look at this. You see that? I bought shares there. Nothing happened. You guys see that? And let's go back again. I'll try and pause it at the exact moment. I tried to buy 2,500 shares. Let's say I would have gotten filled at like 95. Let's say I get filled at 95 right here. Watch this loss. Well, let's say scratch trade. Between 91 and 97. Maybe I'm filled a little lower. Maybe I'm filled a little higher. It's a loss, okay? Or scratch trade. Watch. Hold on. Watch. I get back in. Because I'm watching break of 16 here. So you can see I sold. Nothing happens. Nothing. No change in my P&L. No position size pops up. Nothing happened. This is scary stuff. Tomorrow I better not come and see that I'm down $10,000, man. Watch this. I buy back. Oh, I sold right there. Hold on. Okay, there it is. I kind of miss it. I tried to buy again at 97, 91 between the spreads there. It goes to 05. It goes to 15. I sold up at 16. Let's say I would have gotten filled at like 16.10, 16.11, 16.12. I don't know. This would have been a good one, right? This would have been great. 2,500 shares. You know, this would have been like a $400 trade, $300 trade or so, right? But then watch this loss right here. I'm back in at 01. I feel like I'm a little too hasty with the entry, expecting it to hold. And right here, the mistake is that we did not break out and rip to like 16.30, 16.40, 16.50. We only broke out by 15 cents, which for this stock is pretty poor. And for me to buy it, try and get the hold of 16 was a mistake. So let's say I'm in at 02, right? Let's say I'm in at 02. Watch this loss that would have happened here. We're at 81 by 99. What would my fill have been right here? Let's assume the worst. Let's say I would have gotten filled at 82. You know, I would have just had a 15-cent gain. Maybe my P&L wouldn't have been, I said I would have adjusted for a $1,000 loss. That's because I didn't realize I had a win in there, right? Steve was telling me there was a winner, and that was the winner that we just saw. But now this would be a loss of, let's say, 15 cents if I'm getting filled against the bid, which, you know, of course, wouldn't have been good. 20 cents. This is a $500 red trade. Nothing happens again. What is going on? Now, in this situation, let's say I would have been red, right? So it works out in my favor. But this is awful to happen because there'll probably be a day where I buy 2,500 shares at $14.50. It rips up $1 a share. I'm not filled. You guys see what I'm... So it's like, okay, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't think my P&L would have been that much different after seeing that winning trade in there. But we can't afford to have this happen. This is the type of thing that reminds me every day that Lightspeed, or let's just say a direct access routing platform, will be the way to go despite the commissions. Because if we can trade a stock like this with 3, 4, 5,000 shares and get very lightning quick fills, the commissions are not going to matter. And so we can't afford to have this happen. Whatever that was, I don't know what it was. I'll have to call in. I'll call in a little bit here and get to the bottom of it. In fact, if we look at the time, 10:02, right? Look at this. If I go to 10:02, it's the strangest thing, man. If I go to 10:02, you're not going to see any orders with 2,500 shares. You can see the 2,000 share order that I took, the 500 share, the 500 position, right? but it'll only show once I size down to one share after I test out what was going on. So what was happening on this stock at this time, you know? I think this is worth mentioning. So I had to include this in the recap. So if you're using Thinkorswim, be very careful. I was not executing through the DAS platform either, so that's worth mentioning. My order entry window was on Thinkorswim, and even if I was on the DAS platform, my default share size, like I can pull that up right now. My default share size is set to, oh, hold on, wrong thing. Where are we at? OBS. Let's come right here. Why the heck? Okay, let me not get into that. Dual screen. Let's get rid of this. My default share size is set to 1 share. I tried to place a trade pre-market with the DAS platform, I would say Thursday. I tried to take 100 shares. Nothing happened. This is through the DAS platform pre-market, but I figured maybe there was some sort of connection issue and there was some sort of cancellation. Maybe it was on Thinkorswim side, and I can't remember what stock that was. I better not have shares in that stock to this day. I mean, can you imagine I show up tomorrow and I have like 5,000 shares, 7,500 shares at like 15, whatever the price was, you know? I mean, that would be devastating. That would be devastating, you know? I mean, well, the stock is up, but still, we don't need that type of stuff happening to us. So we want to be controlled. I'll call in. I'll get to the bottom of it. Hopefully, I can get a good explanation, and I'll send them. I'll timestamp it, so when I send them the link, they'll be able to see, and they'll be able to like get back to me. They have to watch this and see what the heck is going on. I've done this type of stuff with them before, so it shouldn't be too bad. But that's gonna do it for the recap, guys. AERC, COGT worth mentioning. I was left out to take my cousin to the train station because he's a little late for work today. And I liked this thing over 905. I was up $40 at best. Gave back profits here at 905. And it pulled back and crawled up nicely through the level. I think I could have made at least something here. At this point, though, I was sleeping because of the headache. The other one is what I missed because of taking him to the train station, which was DAWN. I had a headache. I just, I had to take a rest. I had to eat some food and stuff. But anyhow, DAWN. This is the one that I missed. This one happened at 11 o'clock. Look at this move here, ABCD, and breakthrough 1113. Rips up all the way to 1590. By the way, for AERC, I think it's important to mention the daily setup. My E-Trade is locked. Well, let's cancel here. My E-Trade is locked. Should still work here. It's worth mentioning this daily setup. Bull flag breakout. You guys know I look for the bull flag on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. This is a bull flag on the daily chart. And look at how beautiful it is. Beautiful, guys. Just picture your country's flag on a flagpole. And it's in the wind. You have the pole and you have your country's flag. Or maybe it's a little more triangular, right? Bull flag breakout, right? Bull flag, flagpole, consolidation. And then we get the move to the upside, which is what we want to see. So, tomorrow when we come back, it got over 1819, which is a big level here, 1819. Now there's room up to 2590. And if this thing breaks 2590, there's gap fill all the way to $98. So we'll have this entire room to play around if this thing goes crazy tomorrow. So guys, that'll do it for the recap. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing. I'll be live again tomorrow morning around 8:30. I'll push for the earlier start time. Guys, it's been Relentless Trader, and I am, of course, signing out.